Hi everyone, and thanks for coming along to this wee recording. It's just an opportunity to give you a collated overview of the key documents and the proposed consultation processes relating to the OECD review and the Scottish Government response and timescales around that. These are at the moment, the two key publications. There's a hyperlink in the slide and we'll send the slides out so that you can use them. The first one relates to the curriculum in its entirety, and the second one is more senior phase specific around assessment. So this is the journey of what's happened so far. We all know that the refreshed narrative was launched, I think it was November 2019. And I guess that was the intention, was that the refreshed curriculum would take forward some of the proposed changes. Then, of course, we hit COVID, which put a pause on everything. So then, following lockdown one, you'll be aware that the OECD report was commissioned. A year later, the Curriculum for Excellence report was published. And there's a hyperlink there to the Scottish Government response, which basically accepted all of the recommendations made in the report. The second document on the previous slide, that report was published in August 21. Where we are at the moment is at the next stage, which is the consultation by Professor Muir is still open. It's been extended to the 3rd of December. And the purpose of this video and our upcoming meeting is to have an opportunity to, you can respond as an individual, but this is an opportunity for us to kind of capture some views so that we can share colleague responses as part of a whole local authority response. Moving forward from that, there's the included review of the SQE and the Education Scotland as to what's going to happen structurally around that. And then further in the distance, it will be Professor Hayward's review of the new assessment system. And that will, I guess, relate to the senior phase report from August 21. And there's quite an extended timescale on that, because you'll understand all of the complexities that will be involved in bringing that together.
So part of the OECD report, and apologies for the feedback there, part of this report has some key findings from the original report. So there's 4 main key findings. I'm not going to read them all now, but I'm going to take you through just through the slides so you can have a wee read of the slides, looking at stakeholder engagement, the review of curriculum for excellence and the vision, the enhanced and coherence of the policy and the environment, and then our approach to the ongoing implementation of curriculum for excellence. And that review we've hyperlinked as well, so you can access all the information here. You're on mute, Miriam.
Apologies. Going through the next few slides are the recommendations made by the OECD. So there's a bit there about finding the balance, and you'll know for yourselves, there's a balance to be found between where knowledge's place comes, where skills place comes, how the transition through the 3 to 18, how coherent, I guess, is that. And then it's about the collaboration with the roles and responsibilities. And I think there it's probably around the balance between an empowered system and having support and guidance where it's most appreciated. So there'll be a bit of work around that. On to the next recommendation: institutional policy process for effective change. So that's looking back through, or that will be looking back through all that's good for curriculum for excellence, and then implementing I guess a national, or certainly an authority level systemic approach to that review. Next steps for curriculum excellence with the long-term view, and again, that's around, I'm imagining that'll be around what do colleagues need in order to best implement the best parts of curriculum for excellence.
So currently, Professor Ken Muir has been leading a consultation. The time frame of this has been actually quite short, which is why our time frame is also quite short. There is a link there to the consultation, and the consultation itself has 4 sections to it. So the main focus initially is looking at the replacement of the Scottish Qualifications Authority and then the reform of Education Scotland. So it's that discussion point about the inspectorate, HMIE, not being part of Education Scotland, being potentially an independent body, or even a body that is working within the Scottish Government. So there's that ongoing discussion. The local authority has been asked to submit an initial response by the beginning of December. So as Miriam said, this was a very short window. The consultation has been extended by a week. So what we've done is we've created a really short, simple Google form. It's sliding scales, so there is opportunity for comment. However, you just ask a number of short questions relating to the 4 sections of the form. The 4 sections here, looking at the vision of curriculum for excellence. So the last time the vision was renewed or slightly updated was 2019. So it's still looking at whether, in light of the new pedagogy and our understanding of teaching and learning, is that curriculum for excellence vision still valid? Then section 2 looks at curriculum assessment, 3 roles and responsibilities about the leadership and learning and curriculum for excellence, and then 4 relating specifically to the SQA, the Scottish Qualifications Authority, and the reformation of Education Scotland. So that's what our initial Google form is just briefly starting to look at. There will be many more opportunities for consultation and for views and engagement.
So the Scottish Government, you've hyperlink there to the implementation framework, the suggested implementation framework. There's a very clear statement came from Shirley Ann Somerville. You can see it on the 27th, that externally marked exams will remain part of the new assessment approach. So while you're thinking about, if you're going to put in your own response, it's just interesting to keep that perception in your mind around if there's a commitment that externally marked exams will remain part of the new assessment approach. I guess the conversation would be around which part do exams most effectively serve, and where would other assessment approaches be more appropriate. And you can see that that's Professor Hayward's work that will come ahead. And so the 22-24 framework, you'll be able to, think and project, which cohort of young people will, and their families will be most interested in this part of the OECD review.
So this is just relating to the report we spoke about right at the beginning of this presentation. And we're not going to go into great detail at this point, but we have included the information in the slides and the hyperlink to the report if you are interested in looking further into this. And it just gives you the 3 current themes of the upper secondary education student assessment. So this is pulling out the recommendation that there needs to be more consistency across the senior phase in line with broad general education. And we're just going to literally click through our very smart presentation here for you so that you can have a look yourself as well. And really the recommendations accept that there is some current dissatisfaction with the current model. So it's identifying that and looking at alternative agreed models with a better fit for the way we learn and the way we want to support our young people to learn in the future. Lots of clicking there. And there's the 6 suggestions that come through the Upper Secondary Student Assessment in Scotland report. Right, on to the response, Miriam.
So the Scottish Government are very clear, as we would hope, that they want the consultation to bring in practitioners, local authorities, learners themselves, parents and other stakeholders. So there's a direct link there to the consultation with Professor Muir. You might have been to some of the workshops with him. That has been extended, as Tanya said, until the 3rd of December. And I think initially it was suggested January. It's probably into February, late January into February, when that consultation will be reported on. But that's just the initial phase of all of the consultation that will come in advance. And a part of our role will be going forward in our leadership team will be to assimilate that information as best we can and ensure that we're sharing it with yourselves, keeping everybody informed and making sure everybody feels part of the empowered approach that's being advocated for here.
And that, Miriam's brilliant, because really the report, the OECD report, focuses very much on that empowerment and that voice of all. So whether you are a parent carer, a young person, a staff member, an educator, a head teacher, a counsellor, everybody has a voice to be heard and should be empowered to be part of this consultation, but equally to be part of our journey as we move from 2 to 18 through the curriculum and beyond through to the world of work. This is just so you can see, it's a very shiny, very simple Google form. I am part of the ICT and learning team as an education improvement officer. And so the Google tools, we are using them here. So this is very easy to access. We pop the link there for you to click on, and the PowerPoint as well is available. So it really is, I think, probably, Miriam, about 15 clicks on the questions with a little bit of explanation. And we would really, really appreciate if you could fill this in by Wednesday the 24th, because then the counsellors can come together on the Friday, the 26th. They can discuss the local authority approach, and then we can submit our response ahead of the 3rd of December deadline. Miriam, do you want to just give an overview of the discussion opportunities?
So the processes that we hope to carry forward in any future consultation as well is to start to build these bite-size clips that you can access in your own time, to make a short, very short consultation time there on Monday if you want to come and actually speak to us and think over with colleagues what an authority response might look like. There'll be collaboration with the Parent Council Chair meeting on Tuesday, and it'll be a similar kind of presentation to this. And our graduate intern, Morven, has already been in touch with a lot of you. Thank you for your responses there, to get dates in the diary for focus groups with our young people so that their voice is absolutely, as it should be, front and centre, to give them an opportunity to reflect back the learning experiences and lots of positive learning experiences they've had during the last 18 months, and which parts of that we feel are most relevant to carry forward into future learning and assessment. So thanks very much for your time.
And that's a thanks from me as well. Feel like we've got a little comedy show going on, but slightly longer video clip. So if you've got to the end, thank you very much. And please, engage with the consultation as time sees fit. We know that time is precious currently, and we recognise the time frame that has been set as well, not by us, but we're working within that. So thank you very much for your engagement.